The term object-oriented programming was coined by Alan Kay in the 1960s. Object-oriented programming refers to when developers organize code using classes and class hierarchies. Classes structure how data is organized and also describe what can be done with the data. This is done by declaring a class and then adding fields and functions to that class. Once a class is defined, the only way to change it is to create a new version of the program by changing the code. Since classes are defined in code, compilers can do some checks to catch certain types of bugs before the program is given to users. These checks include making sure that developers are only using fields and methods that are defined, and that they are using classes that are declared. Additionally, tooling called autocomplete can give suggestions to developers about how to use a class as they write new code. Classes also provide a mechanism of code reuse through inheritance. Inheritance allows taking code that is repeated in multiple classes and then moving that code into another parent class. The other classes can then inherit or copy the common code from the parent class. Sometimes the copied code needs to be changed. When this happens, developers can overload the copied code by providing a new definition of a method. Overloading allows developers to use parent classes as a common interface on how to interact with many different subclasses. These interfaces allow developers to write code that works with many different types of classes instead of having to write separate code specific to each class. Using a parent class as an interface for multiple classes is called polymorphism and is often used as another way for developers to reuse code. However, inheritance is not without its challenges. Since inheritance essentially copies fields and methods, it's possible for classes to start changing the copied code in ways the parent class doesn't anticipate. For instance, consider a parent class with numbers for fields A and B. The parent class also has a method called divide, which divides A by B. So long as B is never 0, the divide method will always work. However, if another class inherits from the parent class and sets B to 0, then when divide is called, the program will crash with a cannot divide by 0 error. To address this issue, object-oriented programming has encapsulation, where classes can hide fields and methods from other pieces of code, including subclasses. When a field is hidden, a new method is usually added to allow other code to make safe changes to the hidden field. These methods will ensure that the object never enters a bad state. In our example, a safe method would ensure that B is never set to 0. For those wanting to get into software development, object-oriented programming is an important tool to have.